Our next guest is a veteran political strategist, philanthropist, community organizer, father, and proud Boricua. He is a force of nature who has significantly influenced American politics and draws community action with far-reaching effects across local, state, and national arenas. Luis Miranda Jr. joins us now in studio to talk about his journey in Relentless, my story of the Latino spirit that is transforming America. Welcome, Luis. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So you start in the book as a 19-year-old coming to New York City with your green suitcase in hand, and you talk specifically about how it only takes one person, their influence, who can change your life forever. Talk to me about who some of those people were for you.
Probably the person who changed my life initially was my boss at Aspira of New York. I need a job right away. I end up at the doorsteps of Aspira, which is a Puerto Rican organization helping young people with education at that point. We're talking about the 70s. And she gives me a job, and I begin dealing with the battles of bilingual education and open admissions and special education for bilingual kids. And then the other big person in my life who changed the trajectory of what I did was former Mayor Ekach.
You go on to work for nonprofits. You do political strategy for the likes of Chuck Schumer or Hillary Clinton.
And you know, it's just luck and opportunity and my talent.
Some skill, yeah.
But, you know, my first campaign is Chuck Schumer. What are the chances that my first campaign is someone who will end up to do great things? But I knew I have a good sense of people.
And you talk a lot about family in the book. I'm curious how your own family dynamic, how that shapes your political perspective, your drive, your ambition.
It started with my parents. We were always involved in some civic engagement in the small town. So coming to New York was no different. But now the stage, it's bigger. And my family, it's involved in all of that. My son, Lin-Manuel, says that most kids have a newspaper route. He had to knock at doors and register people in Washington Heights. Everyone is involved in the family business. Politics was our family business. Everyone is involved in it.
And you did mention your son, Lin-Manuel, who obviously went on to create Hamilton, a little-known Broadway play, right?
Yeah.
But what do you think that upbringing and that familial, that Latino spirit that you talk about, how did what you poured into him and that family dynamic ultimately, do you think, changed his trajectory in life?
He was always destined to the arts. You could see this tiny little boy destined for the arts. But his first big show where he got the first Tony, it's in the Heights. He wrote about what he knew, Latino families, immigrant families in his neighborhood.
We're talking about Latinos and politics and the intersectionality there with regard to a shift that we've been seeing where more Latino men are deciding maybe the Democratic Party has been taking me for granted. Maybe that's not the party for me. More people have been leaning more toward Donald Trump. Why do you think that shift is taking place?
I don't think that is true. I think the assumption is incorrect. What is happening, it's that people, Latinos in particular, and men in particularly, are beginning to take a second look at Biden. So at this point, Biden is running against Biden. Because if you look at Latino polls, not a poll where we're 8% of the total number of subjects, what you see is that Biden's support has dropped. But Trump's support continues to be in the low 30s, which is what he got in the general
election. Oh, so you
election.
say it's not that more people are going toward Republican, they're just maybe walking away from Biden.
They're just taking a look and say, wait, is this guy doing what he said he was going to do? So, and what happens in politics, you're running against your ideal self. I believe that as the election gets closer and people take a look, because then you have to vote for one or the other, people will come back to Biden.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Luis Miranda, we thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I want to let our viewers know Relentless, my story of the Latino spirit that is transforming America, is now available wherever books are sold.